Democracy 2012, your voice, your vote. The Valley at the center of political attention as Republican frontrunner Mitt Romney comes to town. Thanks for choosing us. I'm Christopher Sine. We have live, in-depth coverage for you. Brian Webb is in Tempe, where Romney held a rally this afternoon. But we begin with Hatzel Vela in Scottsdale, where Romney's been speaking to state Republican leaders. Hatzel?
Christopher, not only state Republican leaders, but also members of the Republican National Committee, who the governor spoke to here at the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess early this morning, or at midday today. Now, Governor, hearing from the crowds, supporters of his, folks he needs by his side as he moves forward with his campaign.
With that, would you all please welcome Governor Mitt Romney.
Fair to say, not one hostile person in the crowd. Not only supporters, these were Republican National Committee members, the party's cheerleaders, if you will, welcoming the presumptive nominee. Governor Romney not wasting time, hammering the president mainly on the economy.
Remember that stimulus where he borrowed all that money, said he would hold unemployment below 8% with that stimulus? Hasn't been below 8% since.
Romney is hopeful the economy is improving, but if it is, he says, it's not because of Obama. Romney talking about the massive amounts of people on food stamps, people who are in poverty, and of course, the argument that the president hasn't created jobs for the American people.
Does anyone really think Obamacare has encouraged businesses to hire people?
He urged the crowd to help Republicans get elected so Obamacare is overturned. He remembers meeting the president and says he's a nice enough guy, but just not the right guy during these tough economic times.
America leads the world economically because we have always led the world in terms of our economic freedom. Freedom drives America's economy. That's why we'll win.
He also criticized the president on foreign policy, what he says are failed policies when it comes to Iran and Afghanistan. Surprising, immigration was the only issue Romney did not go into detail about. Obviously, a big issue here in Arizona, and that's where he gets hammered by state Democratic lawmakers.
He is the most extreme Republican nominee when it comes to immigration issue in the history of the Republican Party.
And those Democrats argue that Arizona could be a swing state, Christopher, which is why they say the governor is visiting. Christopher?
Yeah, you might consider it a battle underway. Hatzel, thank you for that. And our live in-depth coverage continues now with Brian Webb, who attended a Romney rally this afternoon. And Brian, sounded like the economy was the big headline for you today.
Yeah, the economy is what people are still concerned about, and that's what Mitt Romney gave them, promises to fix the economy. There were maybe 100, maybe 200 supporters out here today standing in the hot sun to get a glimpse and to catch the message on the economy, things like gas prices and health care. As you heard, at one point, Romney admitted that the economy seems to be doing better, but said it's in spite of President Obama, not because of him. Then he pointed out what he called a major difference between the two men, military spending.
The military is one place I will not make cuts. I firmly believe that a strong military, superior to any else in the world, is the best ally we have to avoid war and to keep America and the world at peace.
Romney stayed a little bit afterward, about 10 minutes, shaking hands with people. This, Chris, remember, I think this is the third time Romney's been in the state in the past few months, obviously hoping to make sure Arizona stays a red state coming up in 2012.
Yeah, Brian, you're right about that. It has been 3 times in recent history. Thank you very much. Economy, immigration. Well, before this afternoon's rally, Romney had a roundtable with Hispanic business owners in Tempe. His campaign talking about the impact of the tough economic times on Hispanic families. They circulated a graphic that said, quote, under President Obama, more Hispanics have struggled to find work at any other time on record. One big reason Romney has been talking to Latino voters today, they're going to be voting more and more in the voting booth. In the past 2 presidential elections, each time there's been an 18% increase in Latinos who vote. Political experts say the trend continues, and it's partly because of population growth, but mainly because of the anger in the community over immigration issues.
The more anti-immigrant legislation there is, the more Latinos want to mobilize politically to vote or counteract these initiatives.
This means Romney may be in trouble when it comes to getting the Latino vote. Those who study state politics also say stay close attention to the Senate races where Latino voter turnout may sway results. And stay with ABC 15 News for continuing coverage of Mitt Romney's visit to the Valley. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock, more on how the Hispanic vote is expected to affect the election.